we'll go ahead and introduce everyone and do a roll call. So it is my pleasure to introduce you to Eric Rue. He's an interim director for DSDHH. And I have met him twice, and I have enjoyed our conversations and meeting with him and getting to know him and interacting with him. And I think Sarah made the right decision in stealing/borrowing Eric from another department to help us run our program. So go ahead, Eric, and tell us a little bit about yourself, just briefly.
Sure. Very briefly, my background is actually as a professional counselor. I've worked in a variety of settings, including community mental health, vocational rehabilitation, working with individuals from all walks of life. I've been with the Utah State Office of Rehabilitation for the last 14 years here in the Salt Lake Valley, working progressively in different jobs up through administration. I've been the regional administrator for the VR program in the Salt Lake area for the last 7.5 years. And during that time, one of my duties was to provide the administrative liaison assistance with the Rehab Council for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. Those are the counselors who serve the deaf and hard of hearing community across the state of Utah. So I worked closely with the VR counselors who provided those services. And we would often meet here at the Sanderson Center. So I had a passing familiarity with some of the staff here and some of the programs, but I understand that is not the same as having a deep knowledge. But with that familiarity and my administrative background, Sarah thought that I could come over and assist with keeping things moving forward until we could find a permanent person with the right skill set to come in and take over the program here and move it forward. So I'm just here to help, and so far I'm learning amazing new things every day. This has become the most exciting, brain stimulating job I've had in several years. So I'm glad to be here, and it's going to be great to meet all of you.
Well, thank you, Eric, so much. Take an opportunity to visit the center and get to know him in person. He's a very nice person and warm-hearted man. He doesn't bite. He might have a loud bark worse than his bite. We'll see. Okay, thank you, Eric. This is a good time for you to practice putting your camera off, and then we'll bring someone else on. So go ahead and turn your camera off. Good job, Eric. All right, now Sarah.
Great.
Yay.
Hi.
Go ahead and introduce Sarah.
Okay, my name is Sarah Brenna, and I'm the director of the Utah State Office of Rehabilitation. And happy to be here and welcome new members.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. All right, next is Melanie Sperry. Hi. Hello, hello. Melanie is the secretary. She works at the center as an administrative assistant. Anything you want to say, Melanie, before you turn your video off? And she says, no, I can explain a little bit more later. Sorry, 1 second for the interpreter, just clarifying that. So she is a member of the advisory counselor, and the 3 members that have spoken are non-voting members of the council. And I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself if you haven't noticed. Some of you might have been able to read my name. It's really small, but I am Martin Price. I'm the director of the Deaf School in Ogden. I am excited to be here. It is my pleasure to work with all of you on this council. This is going to be an exciting year of change. I'm so excited. And so moving on to the next person in order is Kate Green. She couldn't make it tonight. And so we're going to excuse her. Kim Lopez. Hi, I'm Kim. I'm the deaf president for UAD. Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Do you want to be called Lawrence or Larry? Larry, Lawrence, which do you prefer? Larry or Lawrence?
Larry. I prefer Larry.
Okay, great.
I'm a member of the Hard of Hearing Committee.
Do you represent any specific organization or just in general?
Just in general.
Great. Well, thank you, Larry. You can go ahead and turn off your camera now. Next is Bradley or Brad. I prefer Brad. I'm from Voc Rehab and I'm a counselor. Based where? St. George. I hope you're getting enough rain. Not much, just a little bit where I live right now, but we have a lot of rain here, so a lot. Thank you, Brad. Chip. Chip is in the car. Tell us who you are, Chip. Picture's frozen. Maybe best to talk because your picture is freezing. The internet is kind of shaky. Ladies and gentlemen, Chip Royce. He's an interpreter and a CODA, child of a deaf adult.
I'm parked and I'm not driving.
Martin's laughing at you, Chip. Well, good. The internet is not connected very well, but your face was beautiful enough for everyone to see. Thank you so much. Cody? Hi, my name is Cody Simonson. I am the same as Chip. I am a child of a deaf adult and an interpreter. Thank you, Cody. John? Oh. That is a beautiful couch that you have, John. I think your camera, your video's reversed.
Just one moment, we're figuring it out.
I don't know how to switch my camera, so, oh, let's see. Oh, you're fine. Oh, success.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. My name is John. Ali, I am deaf and blind representative. I'm a new member of the committee. So I'm glad to be here on this committee. And I live in Ogden. So I'm excited to be on this advisory council and have, the access. I do have the 2 interpreters. I have a couple here as well with me. So it's nice to meet all of you. It's great to be here. I want you to help people understand why we have 2 interpreters. So if you notice, there's one person in the back. He is doing the haptic interpreting, which means he is touching on the back. So that way he'll show that there are 2 people that are talking. He can actually point on the back, and then he can go and continue with that. It's actually really fascinating. That really makes it easier for the deaf and blind to be fully involved with the meeting and the process with the 2 interpreters. So anyway, thank you so much. So now we'll go over to Sharon. Go ahead, please. Can't hear you, you're on mute. I did forget to explain, to unmute, you can actually just put the space bar and that should unmute you. So that way you can go ahead and speak, and then when you're ready to mute it back up, you can hit the space bar again. Great, so if you go ahead, there you go, perfect.
Hi, I'm Sharon, and I'm just a member of the advisory council.
Welcome, welcome. So thrilled to have you here with us. Sharon, thank you. Okay, so now Joe, he's a new member. So Joe, please go ahead and come on.
Okay, I think I've pressed all the right buttons. Everyone can hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you. I want to thank you and Kim. Kim, you have a great smile. You should use it more often. I had no idea I was going to be here. But I'm very thankful, and I have friends like Sharon and Larry and Jim that I have been learning with. You folks, including the teachers and the students, are just amazing to me. And I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to participate in the advisory council. I've been wearing hearing aids for 25 years. And since I started taking classes, it's just been amazing what I've learned from everyone. So thanks for the opportunity to participate.
Welcome, Joe. We look forward to working with you. We're really excited to work with you as a council. It's great. So thank you so much, Joe. All right, Jim. He's also a new member.
I think I pushed the right buttons. Yeah, I'm Jim, and I'm retired. I was a psychotherapist that, because of my hearing loss, I could no longer understand or hear what my patients were saying. So it was unethical to continue. Ergo, I'm retired. Been wearing hearing aids about as long as Joe, about 25 years, due to an injury in Vietnam. And I'm just learning. I do not do ASL. I'm trying to learn how to do speech reading, but I consider myself a slow student. I look forward to working with all of you, and I can't compliment the teachers through the Sanderson Center and remote highly enough. They're awesome. That's all.
Oh, thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate you mentioning the quality of life. I just always, want everyone to have, higher, quality of life. So thank you for your words. Okay, I think that was the roll call. Kill two birds with one stone. Fantastic. So Jim, go ahead and turn off your camera.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Jim. Okay. So now I hope that you guys are all comfortable with the system of, push on the video, taking it off. So it'll take time to get used to it. But could you imagine if we have done this with all the 25 people? Could you imagine? I mean, all the pictures would be so tiny. So anyway, that's why we set it this way. So it's really good. We have up to, 4, just a lot easier on your eyes as well. So you notice your eyes will become less tired. So that way you'll be used to this system. So the spotlight, that's fine, that works. Because I am deaf, and every time I have that spotlight, I actually have to go down, just frustrating. The mention is talking about you speaking with the muted. If you want that, do you want to continue? It's just frustrated. So anyway, again, thank you so much for taking your time to learn this new process. So now I would like to talk about the minutes. The 16th, any changes or motions for the approved minutes? Kim has something. I propose to approve the minutes read. Thank you. Any seconds? The first person popped up, that's something, so now I see the second. Anyone want to propose a second? Okay, Cody says a second. Thank you. Any complaints? Anyone want to pop up for that? Okay, thank you. So the minutes have been approved as read. So now we're going to turn the time over to Sarah, who has announcements. So go ahead, Sarah.
Hey, well, my main announcement was to welcome Eric, but we've done that, so that's easy. I did want to talk just for a minute for you new members about kind of the bigger picture of what DSDHH, where they sit in the organization. I'm just going to do that verbally. You have some handouts that were emailed to you. I'm not going to go over all of those. You have them. And then Melanie can, I could put it on my screen if people are interested. Just, okay. Okay, good. The Division of Services of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing is a division within the Utah State Office of Rehabilitation. So this, Martin is holding up the org chart of the DSDHH, and you can see, in addition to Eric, who's the interim director, we have 4 managers that you're going to meet in just a minute. So I won't spend time, but they have 4 kind of main program areas that they represent, and they'll go into more detail on that. And again, these are in your email, and we can also send more accessible versions to you, John, after the meeting. Okay, the other org chart I wanted to show you is where DSDHH sits in USOR. There's me. Okay, so the Utah State Office of Rehabilitation has 4 divisions. I have 5 managers that work for me, but 4 divisions. The first one obviously is DSDHH. The other division is the Division of Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired. The director there is Steve Wynn. Some of you know him and have worked with him. He has the deaf blind program specialist that works closely with DSDHH. Vocational rehabilitation is the other part of our organization that is quite large. They have about 250 employees, and they do vocational rehabilitation counseling. They do assistive technology. We work with employers and that sort of thing. We have and then lastly, we do disability determination services. And that is a program that, hold on, one more, is a division that is mainly run by Social Security Administration. They give us some money to do medical eligibility for disability claims. So they have about 100 employees, and they basically do medical adjudication of medical claims. So that's it. We have about 400 employees. And then lastly, just big picture, the Department of Workforce Services, that's our parent organization, or the big picture where we fit in. And you can kind of see there's Casey Cameron's our executive director. And then we have the two deputies. My boss is Greg Paris. You can see from here that we have things like refugee services, workforce development, we have unemployment insurance, housing and community services. We do eligibility for a lot of public assistance programs. And I'm not even covering everything. So we have about 2,200 employees in the department. And so we kind of went from the bottom up. Of course, you know, my favorite is USOR, and I'm excited for you to hear from our great staff about other things that we're working on at DSDHH. I think that's all I've got. Any questions?
Oh, thank you, Sarah. Okay, let's go ahead. On the agenda, it looks like we have the council orientation. I really appreciate Sarah starting that off to help us get an idea of what's going to happen. So this, I mean, you know, this plays a big role in the picture. So now I'm going to go ahead and start with bylaws review. Melanie has sent you an email with an attachment.
Bylaws.
For those to review. So at that time, to go ahead and review those, look them over. I'm not going to go ahead and do that tonight. But if any of you would like to become a chair of that committee, please go ahead and let me know. I would rather you volunteer than me just picking you. Because I know with that little bit of motivation, I mean, I know a lot of people sometimes don't want to do that. So I'd rather people, if they want to do that, please come volunteer. Any specific questions related to that, to the bylaws? Do you have any questions right now? We have a few seconds. I can give you some time if you need to pull up your video or something. Sarah. Oh, you're on mute.
Just one question, Chairman. We don't have, do we have positions that you want to fill now, or would this be next summer? Because you are the chair and Katie's the vice chair. But if there's other committees, so I just wanted to be clear what you were wanting to do right now, or if that would be in the future.
Oh, good question. Great, thanks, Sarah. So the bylaws allow for the committee to be established, and to think it's an easier way to stop discussing for the number of the people to discuss, and to bring everybody to the council, as opposed to having just a discussion where maybe half of you really have no idea or just not interested. Just, you know, be a part of that discussion. So that's where, you know, we kind of filter through that, maybe 2 or 3 people on the committee to discuss that, and then to bring the whole committee for discussion to a vote on that if needed. The word advisory is a wonderful opportunity for you members to give the advice on so many different things. The advice quality of living of all the deaf and hard of hearing, deaf and blind, Utah people. The staff can only do so much. And if we see something, you know, we can bring it here, and so we can advise. But it's really up to them to take our advice or not. Can't force them, you know. Does that answer your question, Sarah? Yes, it does. Great. Okay, so please go ahead and review those bylaws. Please, if you can volunteer yourself to be on the committee, you can welcome to email me. Again, each one of you should have received those. It should have been, looks like this. So all the information should be there. We sent it to your email addresses. Some have phone numbers. I see some phone number. Yeah, it's there. So, but yeah, go ahead and email me. You can call me anytime, leave a message, please. Okay, so the next is the voting position. I think it might be easier for all of us to be on the same page. So I don't want, you know, maybe anyone upset or confused. So for the minutes, I want to make sure everything's clear, because if there's an objection, obviously there's something, there's an issue or a problem or an error with the minutes or something. So the opportunity to go ahead and present that. So if you want to go ahead and review those minutes and send them in to Melanie, she will go ahead and make the changes, and then she will resend them again if necessary. If there's no changes, everything looks great, then we will assume that you guys all accept the minutes. For the sake of, you know, the time and taking care of the time. Oh, John, yes, go ahead. So I do have one question. If we have like a complaint or something, who do we send that to? Do we send it to all the DSDHH, or who do we send it to specifically? Oh, that's a good question, John. Great. Go ahead and send it to Melanie. Go ahead and send your modifications to her, and then she will resend that. Thank you so much for that question, John. Okay, great. I will take care of that. Thank you. Okay, so that's for the minutes. Again, if there's any objection, do that. But if there's not, great. But I'm going to propose to ask Kim Lucas to go ahead and explain the process. Kim. Okay, sorry, I'd make my big screen bigger. Okay. If there is something that you want to bring up and to get attention, that means to make a proposal with a specific topic. So it needs to have the specific. So that chair to request somebody to come in, and then that person to make a motion for the floor to discuss the reason why. They can go ahead and propose that, make that. This is an opportunity for we all to discuss and put input, talk about someone who's proposed, and then we can close the discussion. But that's an opportunity for everyone to go ahead and vote for or against, oppose, or whatever. Just the basic procedure of how you do that. So Kim, you said it great. So are there any questions about the voting process?
Since there are no questions, we're going to continue on. The next one is strategic planning. We are fortunate to have some people who will be reviewing those opportunities, and I will let Sarah take over and explain those things to us. And she'll explain what it looks like. The paper is very colorful, so she's going to explain this paper to us. Go ahead, Sarah. Thank you.
Okay, well, just quickly, because I want to leave the staff enough time to go over what that is. But what we created and sent out was just a visual representation of DSDHH's new mission, vision, values, strategic plan, goals. So it really is something that just kind of shows the big picture of what we're doing. And of course, I don't have it up in front of me, so I can't explain it, but I will. 1 second, I'm going to find it. Oh, hold on, that's not it. I got it. It's coming. I'm looking for it. Are you going to show it, Eric, team, anyone going to project it, or is it just out on email? Here it is. Nope, I lost it. That wasn't it. Eric, it was just right before. Oh my goodness. I just had it. Okay, hold on, I'm going to the top. Here it is. Okay, I found it.
Okay, perfect. Pamela said she found it too, but perfect. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so basically it has our core values, and this was a process that the DSDHH staff and some community focus groups and some others really spent time on over the last year. So we wanted to go over this for our new members, so you knew kind of what our high-level priorities were going forward. So just at a very high level, we have respect and trust, inclusion and diversity. I'm going to let you guys go into more detail because I don't want to ruin your presentation. Communication and barrier-free, and culture and community. Those are kind of the areas that all of our goals fall under, and those are our core values. So I'm going to stop because I'd rather the managers get a time to talk about their areas, and then I can answer any questions, or Eric can, or the team can after they present.
Hello, I am Pamela Maurer. I am the Continuing Education and Outreach Manager. Just a little background about me. I grew up in Utah. I went to Gallaudet University. I got a BA and an MA. I am famous for my love of cats, which is why my name sign includes the sign for cat, like this, Pamela. But I have just a couple of things that I will touch on with my staffing group before we talk about the goals. My team has two main groups. One is outreach. That is Mitch Moyers, Ron Nettle, and Gideon Nielsen. She is finger spelling really slow for me. Thank you so much. So the first two, Mitch and Ron, their main responsibility is for social media, newsletter, and hold on, I just have to look at something really quick. So they will represent us in various committees. You know, UTA, Utah Transit Authority, they represent us on their committee. It's an accessibility transportation committee. They're also a part of Relay Utah Council and EHI, Early Hearing Detection and Advocation. And so they represent us on different committees. They go and make presentations, listen to their presentations, and then share with us, and then put the information on our newsletter so that we can all know what is going on with those different committee meetings. They provide technical support also and feedback with what technologies match us best for our deaf and hard of hearing and blind people. So Mary Beth and Diego. They're both responsible for community activities, education activities. They make events and they contact presenters to come and present on different topics to us. My goal is to coordinate all of that. And last but not least, Gideon does all of the editing for the videos. We just set up a video, and so we're going to have more of those coming soon. So are you ready for me to explain about my first goal, to how to improve outreach and awareness? I just want to make sure that there are any questions before I continue. Nope. Okay, awesome. So our first goal is to improve outreach and awareness. We have 3 things that we want to accomplish, and we're still working towards. The first one is the CEO has created multiple public service announcements that we will broadcast on video during COVID, how to protect yourself from COVID, and information from the government, educational videos, and publications to also include captioning and voice description, and transcription for the deaf and blind. So we are going to be continuing with that. Secondly, CAS, the Community Advocacy Service. They have partnered with the Division of the Services for the Deaf and Blind to set up
Division of Services for Substance Abuse.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Mental
Sorry, thank you. Hold on just one second. Thank you. Was that Sarah? Thank you. Sorry, thank you for your patience. So they did set up a position with that council, that agency, for a person who signs for the deaf to provide services for the deaf. Brad Godfrey, he's a CODA. He has been an interpreter, and he is now doing the survey to help identify what is missing and what needs to be filled in the different areas regarding mental health and substance abuse. Third, UIP has done a presentation, State of the Art. ART stands for Adaptability, Transformation, and Resilience. They presented at the UTRID conference just recently, and they talked about different events related to the interpreting community here in Utah, and they are providing workshops. We have accomplished that, and what we're doing is continuing to work on that for our outreach. Thank you so much, and next is Melanie.
Hello, my name is Melanie Sperry. So I work as an admin assistant, but that will actually be changing the title soon. I am from Logan, the small town up north. I grew up there. I'm actually the only one deaf in my family. I do now have a son, but it's just me and my son. I will explain a little bit more about my role, FMO.
Facility operation.
Facility operation, thank you. And facility. I'm trying to remember what it's called, sorry. Facility management operations, or whatever it stands for. Yes,
Maintenance and
FMO.
operation.
That. I can't think. Sorry. Okay. Yes, FMO. Adam is the one who takes care of the building. Sherry is the front desk. Julio, maintenance, he's taking care of the building. But that's mine, like what I do. So our goal is the building to have the program. That's the goal. We have several staff for FMO, CEO, UIP. So they are all set up for CODA Camp. And for CODA Camp is the Child of Deaf Adults. So that's all related with children. They're not more, most of them are hearing, and so they will run the camp, have games, presenters, learning, support for each other, understanding, you know, for a CODA. I mean, they all have that experience. CEO, success partnership with USDB and EHDI. Hosting the first virtual parent-teacher conferences. And that seems like it's being successful, so that's great. I do want to explain HEHDI for what that means. It's an early hearing detection and intervention. And then the third, again, is the CEO, again, the partnership with the Hard of Hearing program. And we work to establish monthly together. So like using your voice or raising your hands and your voice based on the youth, you know, for deaf and hard of hearing. So that's a monthly we do virtually. So we'll go ahead and turn the time over. See, next is Annette.
Hello, I am the manager of CAS, the team, Community Advocacy Service. I grew up in the East, and there was Gallaudet, and I found a job here in Utah in 1999. So I have been here at the Deaf Center, the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center, for many, many years. Worked my way up, and now I'm the manager. So my team is Lori, Monel, and Steven Persinger. The two of them are my support, and then we have my employment specialist. Used to be Pamela, but now it's an empty position. We're looking, so if you know somebody who's interested, send them my way. The other thing that I do is the Hard of Hearing program for CW, who is the manager, who just recently left, Shelly. Wilson, sorry. It's so sad she left. So we will survive. We have an interview tomorrow. That team is awesome because they all have assistants under them. So there's a group of temporary teachers, advocates. You may have heard Larry and them, and we're praising them. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job. Thank you for your support. Next, we have the St. George office. Diego Costa is the support there, and he does the support and community outreach. We have a hard of hearing specialist. Sternum, who is a full-time hard of hearing specialist. So that's my team. Oh, and me. And strategic planning. The third goal is to support the underserved community. Which has 4 parts to it that we have already accomplished so far. The first part is the senior citizen supported living. In the past, they were all isolated and just kind of on their own out in the community, and it was very sad for them. And so they have partnered with UAD, the senior citizen group, and a third advocacy group who is very skilled. It's a very skilled nursing home. They have helped us quite a bit. And so I am so excited to say that they have been able to set up Rosewood Assisted Living Center. So 2 people so far in our community have moved in there, and both of them are just doing amazing. They have improved so much, and we're so excited for that. And we will be having more move in soon. That's our goal, is to fill the place so that they're not all lonely. Yeah, we're so excited. Okay. Oh, sorry. Secondly is we have a partnership with DSBLVI, the Blind Center. The deaf and blind, oh, I'm losing my words. The specialist. So in the past we had a specialist that was pretty good, but we have a new hire, Shalise, Chris. I made up the name, I guess. Chris Wakeland. Okay, he is the new specialist there, and he is awesome and so motivated and just keeping himself busy and moving forward. He comes to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center, and he has been coming every week on Mondays. And we have a group in St. George that he was involved with just last Saturday, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. Now in September, we're trying to set up something like a deaf blind activity or some kind of picnic for September. So we'll see how that goes. Next, the CEO will have a town hall for the deaf and blind. And we have had that already. And so we learned that the space wasn't really accessible. So John himself and some other, I can't remember who the other person was, But they went through the whole building and gave us some feedback. And so that was very helpful. That helped us a lot. Thank you so much for that. And so we are improving and we're ready. Did you want to add something, John? Yes, I do have a comment about the deaf and blind picnic in September. Is it an informal activity that deaf and blind and their families and friends, basically anyone who can come who is interested in having interaction with the deaf and blind in Utah? And so we're going to have different agencies there. So people on the committee who are interested in meeting each other, you can get information from them so that you can be there. And the Deaf Center, or the Center for the Deaf and Blind, and everyone will be there as well. I believe it's going to be at the School for the Deaf in Salt Lake, in that area near JMS. I think it's Melissa that might have more information. I think it's on the 19th. And maybe someone here knows exactly the information, but I just wanted to talk about that activity just to give it a little bit of advertising for it and make sure that you guys come and enjoy yourselves there. Thank you, John. Thank you. Okay, thanks. So the fourth is UIP. They have identified languages from other countries, sign languages from other countries who have moved here and learned ASL and noticed their struggles. And we have worked with them, and also our team, CAS team, has helped with that, with build a partnership. They have partnered with the Catholic Community Services to help them, and it's been really awesome to have more deaf from other countries feel, you know, able to move to Utah and have that diversity. Okay, next is Trenton Marsh. He is the UIP manager, Utah Interpreter Program, UIP. All right, go ahead, Trenton.
Hello. Sorry, I'm kind of a little disorganized, but I'll go ahead and continue. All right, so, okay, so hello everyone. Yep, I do work for the Utah Interpreter Program. I do work with UIP, and I have for many, many years. Before I was the director, and the recent director actually just retired, so I took the position. That was just recently, so really excited about that, to continue to work and be involved with the UIP. I did not grow up in Utah, but I fell in love with it here just because of the skiing. So I moved here, let's see, 2002, I believe, so almost 20 years here in Utah. So I love it here. And anyway, lucky to be here. So the group that I work with, it's really a large department for the UIP. We have two main things that we focus on. The admin team. There are two admin assistants for me. Dacia Davidson. And she's worked for almost 5 years, but unfortunately she will be transferring to a different job for technology, a great opportunity for her to show her skills and for computers and development testing and everything. And then recently we just hired a new person, Jason Mari. He is deaf, just started with us. So I have the two admins right now. And then the other group, which is actually a large group, is the staff of interpreters / mentors. We have Amy. Okay, so I have Amy, I have Clay, worked for many years with us. We have Paul, Teresa, and Stephanie. And she's a certified deaf interpreter along with myself. And every once in a while, we'll actually be calling a woman. Her name is Marcela Lopez. And she actually is a trilingual, so she can sign, she can do English, and she can speak Spanish. So it's really great. So really great resource for us. And we also do have the team as well in St. George. So the South Central. So we have Kelly Butting, and then 2 other temporary, hopefully to support the team if necessary. So that's a group of us for the main staff of interpreters that we have for that team. We also do have, we've been advertising for a full-time permanent interpreter. That was actually my former place, but then, I became the manager for UIP, so now that's available. So now we're trying to find someone, a CDI position for that. So we are looking for that soon. And also a rep community for Rithos. They're going to be helping us do our test process for the certification. So we're really relying on that for that. So we do have a large hole under the UIP that's responsible for that. So that's kind of in summary for that. But really for UIP, we really have 4 main areas of responsibility. The first one is to provide direct communication, which means basically the interpretation for the staff, for the partnerships, for VR offices, to something really just state related if needed. And that includes the mentoring as well. Another one, big responsibility is the testing and certification. We do have a state-owned certification test that we have for that process. So we do that. So we're really involved with everything. We run that through this. We are responsible for the rules and laws related with interpreting. We have to make sure you have a certification. We have to make sure you're maintaining good behavior. So if something, for example, is ethical or has maybe broken something, we will look at that grievance process. And then finally, an area of responsibility is the admin function. So that means just making sure every year, every one of the interpreters is maintaining certification, their development hours, make sure they're maintaining that, recognition, if there's any questions about interpreting laws in Utah or something, those are the kind of things that the admin staff will do. So now I'd like to share with you what has been happening with all the programs with the DSDHH. One goal that we have is really how to spark kind of more approaches, new ways to do things or to provide services. So I like to share some of the things. I will try to be fast on that. One big idea that we've had for the UIP that we've trying to, a new testing process. We've been adding a deaf interpreter certification. That's different than anything that we have seen even in the nation. So we're really excited about that. We're excited to have the first person who actually has this CDI interpreter for Utah. So we're really excited about that. And then UIP also has started, now provides new services and will soon provide a response. As for many years, interpreters who have taken the certification test and the process has said it's rather pass or fail. But they said, well, why did I fail? Can you give me some more information? What areas do I need to struggle? Do I need to improve on? And so our process before did not allow us to give some more details about that. Now with the new test and how it's set up, we now have the opportunity to offer that. So we will be releasing that soon. We're hoping within the next month or 2. For other departments, for the DSDHH, the FMO and CEO, those departments, you know, they've been coming together to create new designs, new studio, something, you know, really nice, really nice lights, the technology, the TVs, you know, on the wall, really good quality, so that way you can sign, you can do vlogs. And so we're actually really close to being that, so that will be public for the, sorry, be available for the public to be able to use that option too. The CEO, I'm really excited things that we've been working out with all the partnerships. They're the ones that take care of that. The virtual parent-teacher conferences that we've been mentioned before for another goal. We want that to happen every year. So that's a goal that we've been working on. CEO also has decided to spotlight different technology, new things coming about. Just something excited for me for different groups, for deaf, hard of hearing, deaf and blind people, something that could be very beneficial. It's like maybe if there's an app or something, maybe a new technology phone or other computers, just so many different options, but we will spotlight that so they'll be able to show everything what they look like, things that match, and so our community is able to do that. So we have the spotlights on that, and that will lead to new vlogs, maybe YouTube videos, so we can explain that a little bit more in depth. So we're hoping to be able to do that soon as well. Community advocacy, the CAS. I have an idea for them. I know, so we've heard some from Alabama, some communication assessments. We've been contacting with them. We've actually brought some stuff here, trying to figure things out to see if maybe it'd be better for us, for in the area, for the state, what we need related with different communication, efficiencies. It's just really based on a strong interview process and just, like I said, you know, just evaluating everything, just trying to create a good response. So individuals with their communication, being efficient, being something we need to improve on, suggestions, just really how to be more successful. Just trying to connect, you know, communication with that. So really this tool, we are really excited. We're excited this is coming about. We are hoping to offer this service to everybody, hopefully soon. So that's really for the new inventions for that. But now let's go ahead and move for another goal, is how for the DSDHH can elevate our community with their skills, you know, in their areas, you know, how can we really elevate that? So we have 3 areas, well, 3 services so far. So UIP often will provide workshops and trainings for, you know, interpreters so that we can improve our skills and, you know, make sure we're honoring everything. You know, we have the laws, but we want to make sure that we're doing the good things for the community, for the deaf, hard of hearing, deaf and blind, to make sure that we have good quality interpreting services for them. But now UIP is trying to work with UAD to teach the deaf community members too, that, you know, the rights, make sure they understand about interpreters, their laws, to understand the ethics, behavior, you know, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate with the interpreters. And we're trying to inform the members of the deaf and hard of hearing and the deaf and blind community about that. So we're hoping to be able to do that with the UAD. And then the CEO, now they're actually having more and more community education classes. Before, yeah, we have more platforms. Usually it was, you know, just in person. But now maybe we can use virtual, like, I mean, the Google Meet or Zoom, and there's so many options of platforms available now. So we're able to do that just based on what people need. For example, you know, we did have a deaf and hard of hearing panel. We had a discussion. So that was between the North Center and the South Center. So the education team were able to discuss that. And that was with the deaf and hard of hearing. They were able to, their experiences, the different views, they were able to learn from each other. That was really great to have that. And we actually used Zoom, and there was actually a lot of people over the US from Alaska to the East Coast. Everyone was involved with that. It was actually really awesome. Another one is called Deaf Studies. Now at the presentation, that's at the Deaf Center. Diego is the one who takes over that. And that's just information teaching like for the college level at the academics, discussions. So they offer people the accessibility. It's free to open to the public because maybe they can't go to college and take those classes, but they're still kind of curious a little bit. They want to learn a little bit about the culture. They want to learn a little bit more. So that is available as well. So they can do that in person or even hybrid. So it's in person or through virtual as well. The raise your voice and hand for the deaf youth. That is through a virtual platform as well. So that's kind of excited to have those involved. So that way they can see each other through that. Another thing, the CEOs have been working with the deaf and blind presenter. So that way we can make sure we can provide trainings and workshops and it's open to the public. So maybe pro-tactical, technology, however they can be involved. So that way they can understand things, the communication, so that way we can have a powerful experience. We can have more people involved and that's more open and more accessibility for everybody. Maybe more of the technology, just trying to figure out how that can match for the deaf and blind, like what they need. So that way we can train other deaf and blind people as well. So just, with that information, we want to be able to share so everyone is included in the community as well. So that's what the CEOs are trying to partner with, is that. So as you can see, all the different ways that we have that the DSDHH is trying to work with the partnerships and trying to elevate our community and get that going. So that's what I have. So thank you so much. Sorry it's long. So we'll go ahead and turn the time over. Okay, thank you so much for all the managers of the DSDHH. I know you guys feel like it's a lot of, ABC soup. All the acronyms, FMO, CEO. But I will go ahead and you guys will have those to review. That should be all on the papers that was emailed. The organization spreadsheet will help you understand and get a better visual of what you've heard from the 4 managers. Okay. So now here's this. We will go ahead and talk about this at the next meeting, okay?
Oh, so now it is 6:23 and we asked the managers to limit their talks to 5 minutes, which I understand is a challenge, but on the agenda, we have a council orientation. I think I'm gonna move that to our next month's meeting. So now is an opportunity for any of you members to share any announcements that you have for your organization or what is going on in your area. If you have anything, anyone want to start, go ahead and put up your video. Okay, and then we'll just take turns from there. Okay, Kim. UAD has been working really hard gathering information from the deaf community through town halls. We have had 5 different town halls and we have learned a lot from them. We are hearing them, we are listening to them, and we have some recommendations to talk about later. We're still working on getting all that information together, and we have one more town hall that we decided to have a video town hall. It was kind of a last minute decision. I think it's going to be on the 28th at 7 o'clock. And it will be publicized, and we encourage everyone to be a part of that. It will be a virtual town hall. And we want them to feel like there is a safe space for them to speak out, to speak up, and whatever they need, make recommendations. If they have any ideas about how to make the community better, we encourage that. And we're open for anyone. We are so busy with our conference that's coming up in October, and we are so excited we have a special guest speaker that I'm not going to share. I'm holding on to that. We're going to advertise it, make our announcements. So join us. It's only $50 for the conference, and it will be at DSH at the Deaf Center in our building. We're so excited. I was going to mention something else, but it's dropped. I can't remember. Oh, wait. Last thing I do remember now. UAD has been working with DWS administrators, talking about our concerns with DSDHH, and we're making progress on those things. And so things are coming together. We're working together, and things are doing well so far. And that's the end of my report. Thank you, Kim. Okay, John. I am curious for meetings going on for our next meeting and the ones after. Will we have questions that will be related more to deaf, blind people? And like if something pops up or whatever, how do I make a suggestion? And where do I send my questions? And can you send them to me so that I can read them, so that I can be prepared with my questions for the next time for like a town hall meeting? The reason I bring that up is the deaf blind community varies so much, and we really don't know everyone in our own community here in Utah. And so that is the main reason that you know, I wanted to bring that up. I know there's a deaf, blind, and Usher syndrome community growing up using sign language, and there's different groups here in Utah, but most deaf, blind people are not involved in a community, in the community like me. Most of them grow up oral or hard of hearing, and many of them have no idea about sign language. And I have a few friends who can kind of go between ASL and the community there and the oral speaking community with their friends who are deaf and blind. If it's and someone who has a milder case of Usher syndrome. But it would be nice, you know, to be able to get together. If they had questions or something that they wanted to know about the deaf and hard of hearing community and about the Deaf Center and the council, it would be nice to make a list. And then we need to take some time before the meeting and email things together to the community, to the partners in the community. Maybe people, you know, Ramona Lee, she is a deaf blind person. She signs a little bit. Jenny, she's in oral, and she's new at signing. And I can't remember all of the other ones. But there are some who sign like me. But anyway, it would be nice to set up some time to share information between all of us and make our recommendations and post questions before the next meeting. So we have time to ask our questions. Does that make sense? Yes, thank you, John. The members of the Advocacy Committee, the Advocacy Council, sorry, we're waiting for the interpreter to set up. Oh, I just forgot what I was saying. Oh, let me turn off my video, John says. Okay, great. Thank you, John. The Advisory Council will have a membership list. Anyone can email you if they have any questions regarding deaf and blind issues. You can email them back as well. So we can work on that for the future. Thank you so much, John. Did anyone else have any announcements? I guess not. I think everyone is ready to go. So may I have a motion to end the meeting, to close the meeting? I propose to close the meeting. Any seconds? I second that. All right, thank you, Cody. Any objections? Okay, thank you again for your cooperation and thank you for being a part of our meeting. The Advisory Council, I appreciate it. It's been great to see all your faces and I look forward to getting to know you and putting your names with your faces. And I look forward to working with you throughout this year. And again, we appreciate your time so much and thank you for being a part of our meeting. We will keep in touch through email. Okay, have a great evening, everyone. See you next month on the 15th. You guys can all wave and put up your videos and wave to everybody. Right. I love you, Chip. Don't crash.